This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news will fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine, as we have been for many years, and it's still us. My name is Les Jackson. That other guy is Fred Staab, and we are always here to let you know what's going on in the auto world.
Absolutely.
And do an at-the-wheel review of whatever we might be driving that week.
Yep.
And hey, we always have fun, and there's always interesting information that is going on all the time, which surprises us even.
Well, and this time it is the imaginary car. At least Stellantis made an announcement this week. It wasn't really about a car. It was about a platform for future cars. It is the STLA Medium EV platform that claims some long range, at least in the European segment, and 300 or up to 382 horsepower. So, Les, what would you put on that platform?
I would put practically anything, but if I were going to buy it myself, I would want just a sporty four-door sedan.
All right, and it looks like sedans are in the mix on that.
Well, they should be.
Yeah, 400-volt architecture, up to 435 miles of range. That is on the European cycle. I'd like to talk about, I think maybe we should have a worldwide standard for automotive testing so the range is the same everywhere, but we can talk about that during the show.
Well, we could. We can wish for it.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Toyota traces the return of the Land Cruiser. Remember the Land Cruiser?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that will be a big vehicle to get back in the U.S. lineup, and we'll talk about that. And then, talking tech, Toyota says goggles might replace your infotainment system and your head-up display in your next vehicle. They could be very intelligent goggles. Just don't sit on them, Les Jackson.
I think there's some logistics problems with something like this. Not like you're flying an F-35.
No, with the intelligent helmet.
Yeah. So I'll reserve judgment.
Okay.
And speaking of judgment, over at Mercedes, they just revealed their CLE coupe, and it's swoopy.
I think it's pretty swoopy.
It's very swoopy.
Nice convertible, too. Nice convertible offer.
Convertible. How many convertibles do you see coming out?
I don't know, but it's swoopy. But we'll have all that and an at-the-wheel review of the Hyundai Santafe Calligraphy. Nice vehicle. So we'll talk about that and more when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson, we are glad you're along for the ride. Don't forget to check us out at on our YouTube page and Facebook and more. Stay up to date with what's going on the show. We always appreciate getting your comments there and talking about future upcoming segments and reviews. This week, well, Stellantis didn't really review a car, much more like the platform under a car, which is the medium EV platform. It's got a 400-volt architecture, Les. The standard pack will go 310 miles. That is in the European cycle. And that is a a 310 is the standard miles, and then the 435 will be paired with a performance pack, 435 mile range, and these are that is, I believe, a 98 kilowatt battery pack. All of the vehicles with the 400 watt electric architecture facilitate charging from 20 to 80% in 27 minutes, but a maximum charge speed is not known at this point. This is a platform that has wheelbases that can range from 106 to 114 inches. I guess if you just need more length, you extend the wires, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Which is really great. It's flexible.
8.66 inches of maximum clearance. And there's some talk that this may underpin some Jeeps in the future. And yeah, it could fit anything. It could fit a sedan. It could fit a crossover, a small truck, anything you want to put on it. So it's what they call the pancake, right?
That has been a dream in the industry for many years. And finally several companies are it's coming to fruition.
And then over at Volkswagen, they have what they call their SSP vehicle architecture, which will make a debut in 2026. It's good for everything from 114 horsepower city cars to 1,700 horsepower supercars.
That would be the Bugatti.
That would be the Bugatti. And it is a skateboard chassis that will replace the current MQB, MLB, MSB, and MMB internal combustion platforms.
Yeah. Would you repeat that?
I will.
No, don't.
And these are going to be developed on the 800-volt electrical architecture. What's interesting, we were talking before about supercharger network, Tesla becoming the standard connector and opening up to other manufacturers. And I remember one of our colleague or one of our friends over at Kia said, what's that mean for us? Our cars can handle 800-volt charging, where Teslas only max out at 400 or 425. 400. Yeah. So things are changing rapidly, aren't they?
They are. We've talked about this before. We both love electric cars.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful, but we don't really recommend you buy one presently, because in 3 or 4 years, it's probably going to be obsolete. Now, lease one or something.
Mm-hmm. Buy an inexpensive one, maybe.
Yeah, but things are happening really fast.
There's an interesting article, I believe it was in the Drive, about how hybrids are very important. Plug-in hybrids and hybrids are probably more important right now than electric vehicles for cleaning up the the environment. And they'll cost you less than an electric car. Maybe they'll clean up your personal economy. But for the environment and how important they are, actually. Hybrids and
They are. They are. We don't talk about hybrids very much, but that's a wow. I mean, it's a mature technology.
Yeah, and
very reliable.
And you think about a plug-in hybrid that gives you 30 miles of range, some up to 60. But with those small batteries, I wouldn't even put in a level 2 charger. I keep it with the regular plug. You could plug it in overnight, right?
Sure. Have a 120 volt, 20 or 30 amp circuit.
Yeah, and
plenty.
And you'd be done. Yeah. So many options for you. We're going to keep you up to date at Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the return of a legend, the Land Cruiser. Talk about that. And the Mercedes CLE Coupe, something very slick, you're looking to drive something very slick. We'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Fred and I promised that we're going to talk about, well, an old product that is coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
And much loved. The people that own these things swear by them.
Yep. And we're talking about the Land Cruiser. As you can see, there it is. Well, I think it's the one on the right.
I think it's the one on the right. The one on the left doesn't look current.
But I like it.
I do too. I actually drove in one of those. A friend had, from the 70s to the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting here is the latest variant that was sold here was the J200 and was replaced by the J300 globally, but it wasn't brought to the United States. And Toyota claimed the all-new Sequoia would be enough to fill the gap, but apparently they feel the gap has to be filled by a new Land Cruiser. By the way, I do have the new Sequoia right now that I'm driving. And I have to say, the hybrid drivetrain sounds like a V8, but it's not a V8. So much so that I had to check that it's not offered with a V8 anymore, but they have a great exhaust note. But we don't know much more about it, other than it will be big, won't it?
It will definitely be big. It's being sold in other countries, right?
Yeah, the 300 was sold in other countries. We never got that here in the U.S., so we only know that there will be a new Land Rover, and it will have that silhouette. So stay tuned. When it comes out, we'll let you know. Another interesting story, and it's kind of a continue-on story. Toyota announced this week it plans to share EV technology with Mazda, Subaru, and other Japanese car makers, including the next generation solid-state batteries. And they're looking at over 600 miles of range and 10 minutes of charging. Right now, of course, the only electric car that Toyota sells is the BZ4X, the worst name ever.
Right. I tested that about a month and a half ago.
And then there's also the Solera, which is the Subaru version of it. The Subaru version of it, which is gets a little bit less range. So what's interesting is I wonder if they'll share the technology, but you'll get a little less range. When they say share, they mean license it. They're not going to.
Right.
They're not going to just say, "Hey, Subaru, we're going to help you out here. So here's some batteries." But interesting that they would sell this technology. They did this with hybrid technology too, didn't they?
Well, they did, and that was extremely successful. And frankly, I love it because it gives that technology to other companies and it gets spread out to more people.
And of course, there's the history, as we just showed you, that they work well with Subaru. Of course, they share the 86 and the BRZ gas-powered cars. And they've done this a lot before. I'm not sure. Have they done that before with Mazda? I know Subaru, obviously, yes, but not.
Well, of course, Ford shared a lot with Mazda.
Yeah. So
I don't think they've done anything with them.
So it's big money, and it helps out. It helps out the other manufacturers. They don't have to spend money on developing this. That they can get that technology and license it from Toyota, and that Toyota makes more money. And 600 miles, 10 minutes of charging still blows my mind. I think that's the game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, when you can get 600 miles, which is more than most people will tend to drive in a day.
The average gas vehicle is what? Range is 300 miles?
But 3 to 400, yeah.
Depending. If you have a hybrid, it can be crazy. It can be 600, 500, 600 miles. Certainly 600 miles is at the outer range for any vehicle, right?
As you and I have tested thousands of vehicles over the years, and the longest range I ever had was a Mercedes diesel SUV, and it had a 600-mile range. I drove it from D.C. to Saratoga Springs, New York, which was 460, and still had about an eighth of a tank in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was just phenomenal.
Well, you think about this, and we're talking about chargers and people using Tesla chargers and that. If you had huge range and you can make people feel comfortable that, you know, you don't have to keep it like topped off at 600 all the time, like you can run it at 300. Right. You could charge vehicles, like once a month, once a month and a half, and you wouldn't need as many chargers.
That's true. And, you're not spending much money. And it's not like gasoline where you make the vehicle weigh more when it's full.
Right.
This isn't changing.
No, it doesn't. The charge doesn't add any weight to it. Yeah, I think that's interesting. And they're talking about getting even more range than that, 930 eventually. At that point, you could charge it every 3 months in my case.
Yeah,
probably.
and I don't think you want something with that kind of range unless you need it, because that range means much more weight in the battery itself.
Well, that's the other thing about the reducing the weight on the solid state. They say it will really reduce the weight, because otherwise you could say, well, why do you need that much range if you kept it at 300, 400?
Right.
And maybe they will. That will be the less expensive car, with 300, 400, which is certainly still perfect. Not a problem for most people. So, hey, when we come back, we're going to talk tech about something that Toyota is working on for goggles that will replace your infotainment system and maybe your head-up display, which would be pretty interesting to see if they could do that. And then we're also going to talk about a new model from Mercedes. I'm a big fan of this black and tan interior, Les. It's interesting that the new COUPE, the CLE COUPE, has that, offers that. And then also I reviewed the Calligraphy model of the Hyundai Santafe, and that had that same tan and black interior, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it looked elegant. I really enjoyed this Santa Fe. It's going to get a complete redo. It's going to be revealed, the new version, which will be boxier. The current model, I think, looks like a small Palisade, but the new model will be boxier, we think, but we know it will be revealed at the upcoming LA Auto Show. But I kind of like the current one. I thought it drove really well. It looked great. I like the color. I like the styling. And it was a great driving vehicle. It's also available, not the Calligraphy model, but it's also available in a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid if you like that option. A little bit different trim grade. But I'm also a fan of the metallic grays that have been coming out lately. I don't know about you, but...
yeah. That really helps the grays.
Gives them some depth.
Does.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, boy, they sure can be dull when they're not.
Well, we did the story last week about Fiat saying no more gray cars, and they dipped a gray car in orange paint. Said, see, it's not gray anymore. So, but that's all coming up on Cruise Control when we come back. We'll also tell you about Ram, what it's keeping in its lineup, which may be exciting to some of you if you want to buy one of their vehicles that will be keeping something in the lineup, if you can guess something that's going away on the rest of the lineup. So
That's right.
Stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We will be right back, so keep it buckled up.
Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We're going to talk tech. And we both are a little bit skeptical about this. But anyway, Toyota is going to work with, they filed a patent, a head-up display and other things, goggles.
Yes, this is from CarBuzz again. They always have their person in the patent office that scans these things. I guess when you file a patent, does it become public info?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so
I pull them all the time, and our friend Glenn, as you know, was a 35-year patent examiner.
Interesting.
So, it's public knowledge. You do have to search them.
Well, they filed this patent with the idea that these AR goggles, when we say AR is augmented reality, as opposed to AI, which is artificial intelligence.
I don't like that term.
Okay. And so what they're saying, these goggles will be electronic. They will have speakers in them. They will be able to project things in front of your eyes that could replace the traditional head-up display. It could also replace the infotainment system. They would have cameras, speakers, and a microphone. Track eye movement to determine what's going on outside your car. And help you identify your building before you get there. I think that's called a navigation system, isn't it?
It's called a navigation system.
Yeah. I thought right away of that helmet the F-35 pilots wear, where it has everything in there, and if they look in one way, they can point the gun in a certain direction. Well, that's a helicopter pilot's. And it has all the controls on the helmet. I think that helmet alone is like $75,000.
Oh, easily.
So,
easily.
So, I just think, I don't know. Here's what I think will happen. People will forget them.
Yep.
They'll sit on them, right? Who hasn't done that with sunglasses?
They'll break them.
Yeah, they'll break them. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good idea or not.
I think
not sure.
The idea is very interesting, but we're dealing with people of all types and psyches and sizes and cultural differences, and almost all of them share the same thing, which is that they're not very good at driving. And they're not going to be any better with these. I think they're going to be sort of distracted, possibly claustrophobic. I just
And what
don't
if you
see
forget
this
them?
working.
What if you forget them and you're driving? Well, you have no infotainment system or head-up display?
Apparently, there's a big difference between an F-35 pilot.
Yeah, they'll remember their helmet.
who is highly trained and fitted to the aircraft,
and has a crew chief that will say, "Where's your helmet, sir?"
Yeah, and your Aunt Bertha, who's drives twice a month.
Yeah.
I just think this is not a workable idea, but
Now, on the other hand, some manufacturers like Chevy are developing augmented reality head-up displays that span the whole screen, which sounds really distracting to me, you know?
Yeah. There's a limit to how far you can go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Sometimes.
just think baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it. That's our at the wheel review. That's our. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's our talking tech segment. Let's go over to Mercedes and talk about their CLE Coupe. And now, you and I, we've been talking about this a lot on Cruise Control. They got into this moment of calling everything a coupe if it had a slanted back window, a fastback, which we used to call it, which I like that term better. But this is an actual coupe with 2 doors, isn't it?
It is, and it's nice looking.
Nice looking coupe, swoopy. I have to read this because you know how I love to read press releases. We call it swoopy. They say it's shaped by desire. Oh, my.
Actually, that's a nice turn of phrase.
Yeah, and it has an iconic design. Short front overhang, slightly longer rear overhang, pronounced shoulders, and large wheel arches. And athletic.
Athletic appearance. That's us, by the way.
I love this, though. First time Mercedes, the front seats are unlocked with an elegant loop made of Napa leather, conveniently located at the upper edge of the backrest of the front seats. All right.
Okay.
That's nice.
Kind of like where seat releases have always been.
Yeah. There's a lot of artistic work in this press release. Athletic proportions with a dynamic character line adorning the vehicle's profile.
That's right.
Pronounced shark nose. I do like that where it kind of hangs over, and cuts back. I always like that on a design. That's good. It's going to be available in a hardtop and a convertible, which I think is nice. It has that tan and black interior, which I think is a nice combo. 12-point-inch driver display, 11.9-inch central display, multi-contour seats with memory function, individual music experience with integrated speakers in the seat.
Have you ever experienced those in various?
Yes.
Same here.
I had that in a Genesis recently, and the turn signal was in the
I don't
in the
care
head
for
restraint.
that, actually. I
not a fan.
I just don't want it there unless I want it.
Okay. Exclusive materials and colors. That's good. The upholstery, MB Text upholstery, this is a thing now. It's a high-end vinyl, basically. It's made of 65% recycled materials. The seats in leather are also available. Good vinyl and that texture material, that's actually fine. I know Subaru uses a lot of that.
Yeah. High quality leather. I learned this when I was upholstering cars for
you do
my
a
cars.
very nice job with upholstery.
High quality vinyl is actually less expensive or more expensive than leather. Leather is really a cheap commodity for the car companies, but it has that aura of elegance, and therefore they can charge more for it.
Gotcha. Online music service. Mercedes has fully integrated the streamers that you're familiar with. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, Tidal. By the way, some of those carry our podcast, which would be a great thing to listen to. And
now you can have us talking in your ear in the headrest while you're driving down the highway. And who could ask for more than that?
This is interesting. Templates help customers experiment with different types of support For example, cold days, switching on the seat heating, sort of like a macro, that what you would call. Self-created routines. If the interior temperature is below 53 degrees, switch the seat heating and set the ambient light to warm orange. And AI-generated routines will automate reoccurring routine tasks if desired. Wow, it sounds, I don't know. I kind of don't feel I need that. I'm a guy that doesn't even like the automatic headlights. I'll turn them on myself.
Yeah.
So I don't need well, it's cold outside. I'm going to turn the seat heater on because maybe I don't want the seat heater on. I'll decide.
I just envision the terrible day when we're talking to our car and we say, Hal, please return control to me.
How about this for the audio system? 710 watts Burmester 3D surround sound system. Is that enough for you?
It's adequate.
Near ear loudspeaker in each of the front seats.
No.
There you go. Hey,
by the way, I have a complaint about all of the cars I've been testing in the last couple of years. All of the sound systems are biased way too far toward the bass.
All right. On that
and
note,
some are hard to adjust. That's all I want to say.
back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staab, just having a little issue with something here. And there we go. We're back in. We've got an at-the-wheel review of the Hyundai Santafe Calligraphy Edition. And you and I talked about the Palisade, which is the full-size model.
Right.
Not that long ago.
Very similar inside.
Very similar inside, and Calligraphy being their top-of-the-range trim. We both of us think it's kind of a strange name for that high-end trim, but that's okay because it is quite attractive. And ours was quite attractive. It had a sort of they're calling it a beige interior with kind of black trim, which is very, very nice look. I love the interior on this thing. What I liked about it is the controls are right there on kind of a high console, very much like Genesis. There's buttons, knobs. They're all easy to get to. It's a two-row crossover, and there was plenty of room out back. There's some underfloor storage. There's no spare tire, but you do get a inflator and a ton of storage underneath with some deep wells because there is no spare tire. So you give up that tire, but you do get the inflator and the little inflator and the can of sealant. When the seats are down, pretty much a flat load floor. That was pretty impressive. Under hood, this has the big engine, the 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, which did a nice job of moving it around. I found this vehicle to be one of the smoothest I've had in quite some time. The way the transmission shifted, the way it looked, it definitely was a premium vehicle for sure. And I like the wheel design on this. It had a Hampton gray exterior, which is quite attractive for sure. And this vehicle is basically a carryover for 2023. Not a lot new here, and there's going to be a new model in 2024 that will come out at the LA Auto Show a little bit later on this year. That will be more squared off. This to me looks like a small Palisade, but the new one is going to kind of have its own look, which will kind of differentiate it from the lineup. So if you like this look, you may not like that, but the change is coming. I kind of liked it. I thought they did a nice job with it. How about you?
I think so too. I do like the interiors very much.
Yeah.
And they're very comfortable.
I also thought the lines were clean on the outside. It didn't break a lot of new ground, but that's okay. And I like the grille and the headlight treatment. And as I said, the color was great. Hampton gray. It's sort of a metallic type finish to the vehicle. This gets great ratings for safety. 5-star safety. Everything's 5-star across the board. Rollover is 4, which is not terrible. Of course, it comes with a great Hyundai warranty, 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, 5-year, 60,000-mile new vehicle warranty, and all the safety material that you want, all the safety systems. 20-inch calligraphy exclusive alloy wheels, LED headlights, taillights, daylight running lights, panoramic sunroof, heated front and second row seats, ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, high beam assist. They throw everything at this. I mean, it is a Hyundai, and typically Hyundais mean that you get everything you really need in the vehicle, and you don't have to pay through the nose for it either. This had auto temperature control, manual rear side window sunshade, auto dimming rear view mirror, wireless phone charger. It's incredible, Les. I just had a top of the range Lexus, didn't have a wireless phone charger. But,
yeah, isn't that interesting?
But you get all of that here. It's got a 10.25-inch touchscreen navigation system. I found that to be very perky and easy to use and very responsive. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then Sirius XM radio, of course. Blue Link remote start. I did not use that, but you do get a 3-year complimentary service on that. All of that, $43,750. Carpeted floor mats add $210 to it for a total price of $45,255 for this small but premium crossover. 24 city highway combined, 21 city, 28 highway. If you want a hybrid, you can get it in the Santa Fe. You can get a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid. You would have to go with a different trim level, though. It's not available in the Calligraphy edition. You know how you just like certain vehicles you get, certain press vehicles?
It appeals to you.
Yeah, this appealed to me. As I say, I like the looks of it outside. I thought it was neat. It had great rear visibility, which is something I always look for, a large rear window. The transmission did a great job of shifting. It was not, there wasn't that hesitation that you get in a lot of different vehicles. I also like that it had a locking differential. You could manually lock the differential with a circular control that would change the modes, and then it had a center button that would allow you to lock into all-wheel drive. So I'm hoping that the new one I like as much. Like I say, it looks from the spy photos that it will be much more squared off, but who knows? Maybe that's cardboard camo, and it will be similar to this one. We'll have to see. Great job on the interior. It's got some of that pleated upholstery, which I happen to like. Comfortable seats. I think they just did a great job with it. And can't say enough about the Santa Fe. And the range is incredible. A lot of different trim modes, a couple of different engine packages. The plug-in hybrid, the regular hybrid are available. And then if you want this high-end one, you would go for the Calligraphy model. And even all in at $45,000, it's not a terrible price when you figure you've got just virtually everything and a button for everything. I like that. Call me old school.
That's important.
Yeah. Heated and cooled seats, a very, very responsive infotainment system. I don't know why other manufacturers can't do the nice graphics that Hyundai does. It seems like they just can't do it. Hyundai always comes up with a nice interior. Good rear leg room. As I said, this is a two-row vehicle. You've got some connections in the back for AC power and USB, and even some nice sills there. So good vehicle. I think Hyundai always does a nice job, and they've done a great one with this Santa Fe Calligraphy Edition. I don't know, does that Calligraphy Edition, is it available across the lineup? I think it might just be Palisade and Santa Fe. I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
You know, but always like it when I get a Hyundai vehicle, because they're just nice to drive, nice design, and we'll see what happens in LA if we still like the Santa Fe. That's a model that's been around for a long time in their lineup, isn't it?
It has. I think they'll do a good job on it.
Yeah, I definitely think they will too. So, got a couple of vehicles coming up I'm excited to talk about. Right now I'm driving the new Toyota Sequoia with the Max powertrain in that, a hybrid powertrain, and also going to be driving the new Prius. So I'm excited to try that out. I've been looking forward to it. So we'll give you full updates on those when we get those, and have plenty more at the Wheel Reviews. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.